What is up, guys? Sultry Rage here again, coming at you from sunny Missouri. Hope you're having an amazing holiday weekend. Also in the Destiny world, hope you guys are having a good time with the new trial setup, which we're going to do a talk about real quick today. Also, I'd like to give my thoughts on the new microtransactions that came with this update. Now, this is my thoughts on how this works in Destiny, and I'm not a hater, to be honest with you. We bought a game, they gave us free new content to play, they gave a bunch of masks that you can get a little bit of, but if you want all of the masks or all of the, like the Sparrow or something specific, yeah, you might end up having to pay for it. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Yeah, it can end up costing quite a bit, but they never promise you anything that you're not getting. So that's my thoughts on the matter. Now, moving on to Trials. So, if you've played Trials at all this weekend, you know that they changed things up a bit. Currently, there's no radar and no revives. Pretty much changes the game completely. It's a completely different game type practically. So I'm going to give my thoughts on how to play it, tips and tricks to play it maybe a little better. First off, what we're going to talk about is what weapons you should use. As far as your special weapons, I don't recommend a sniper personally unless you're a fucking sniping god. It's very easy for someone to flank and get close to you with either a shotgun or even a sidearm without you being able to stop them, and unless you can guaranteed hit that body shot and then follow it up with a primary shot or something or a melee, you're going to be in a real rough spot. Second thing we're going to talk about is what classes you may or maybe should not use. First, up on the top of the list, I think Solar Warlock right now is super strong. With no revives, having one or two Solar Warlocks on your team can give you a huge advantage, meaning if they res, it's like having an extra person on the team. So if you get killed, you're down 2-3, you res again, you're back up on a 3-3 playing field, which is like having an extra person, and I think that's great. Also, depending on how you look at it, you can use the firebolt grenades, which can do a dot on the other player, and if you hit them with that firebolt grenade and they run around a corner, you can tell where they're going for a second, so good. It adds a little bit of a awareness buff to you and your team. Second class that I think is actually pretty strong right now, it's actually what I've been running for Trials, and I'm doing help for everybody in my stream, is Void Hunter. Now, you can use Keen Scout, which if you see the other team or scope in on them, then when they run around a corner, you're going to have a few seconds to see where they go, which is a huge buff to your team, again, as awareness goes. Also, if people get really close to me, I can throw smoke on the ground and evade them very easily, and then be able to come back into the fight while they're still trying to find me through the smoke. And also they're damaged and slowed, which speed is a huge thing in when you have no radar, getting to the other team before they can see where you're coming from. Now, tips and tricks for your team to make you, to give you a little bit of an advantage going into these fights. So, you can't play it the same way you play regular Trials. But in my opinion, a good team is still going to be a good team without a radar and without revives. You just have to play carefully. Now, that's not saying play super passively. I'm not saying that at all. You still should be aggressive occasionally. But you got to pick when you do it. You can't just run blindly into a place. So what I recommend for a team who maybe doesn't play together every single day and know each other perfectly or have perfect callouts is that you guys stay together and pick a room that you're going to go into. You all enter the room at the same time, and then make sure you're covering all the doors. Have like one person looking the right, one person to the left, and somebody watching your back, kind of like a military movement. And then once you go into that room, you get control of all the doors, entrances, and exits. Then you take a look around and see if anybody's going to be pushing you. If they're going to push you, then you got to prepare for that. If they're not pushing, pick where you're going to go next, but make sure you're communicating the whole time. This is actually a huge tip for Trials in general, is the communication part. I tell people all the time, if you want to get better at Trials, pick your team that you're going to play with when Trials comes, and during the week, play Elimination or Skirmish or just learn the maps together and learn each other's play style. If your buddy plays super aggressive, you should be paying attention so that if he pushes, you can follow along behind him, and if he gets hurt, you can kill the guy trying to hurt him. Push as a team. The other part I was going to talk about is aggression. If you guys get a body down, make sure you don't have to watch the the res, but it's easy for a guy to pick off a couple of you, so make sure you push together. But wait till you get that body down before you do some crazy push where you're putting your team at risk. Once you have a 3 versus 2, then it's a lot easier to be aggressive versus those last 2 players. Hey guys, that's pretty much it. Those are my tips and tricks for this game type with no radar. Hope you guys have a great Halloween, and I'll see you guys later. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the latest Salty Goat Gaming production. Don't forget to follow me at twitch.tv/sultryxrage, where I live stream daily and full time. Also follow me on twitter.com/sultryxrage for more information to when I start live streaming, and also information on the games that I'm playing and other things you might just want to know. Anyway, have a great day, and don't forget YouTube, stay salty my friends.